To this day, I still have trouble managing my money. I'm sure I'm not the only one. If I would have had more education on how to manage it, though, I think it would have been easier as a young adult. There are 3 very important things that you should know when it comes to financial education. The difference between want and needs. You should take care of the things you have to before you buy the things that you want. I also feel that budgeting would be a major thing that would be helpful taught to younger kids, and how to spend your money wisely, and how much you need to save, and so on. Also, the dangers of credit cards and debt, and how it can affect you as you grow to be an adult. First, we'll talk about wants and needs. Kids today do not understand the difference. They have so much at the tip of their fingers that they can order something online and it be at the door the next day and pay for it a month later. Wants are things we would like to have, but we do not need to survive. Cell phones, fancy cars, toys. Needs are things that we must have in order to survive daily. Shelter, food, and water. Start by giving the child examples of what it would be like if you spent your entire paycheck on toys that month and you wouldn't have any money for food or clothes or water. The next thing we should be teaching our kids about financial education should be budgeting. Budgeting is effective for every person. Budgeting is the only reason that I am somewhat organized with my money, and if only I would have learned how to budget sooner. For younger kids, you can start by having them start a piggy bank, but according to Dave Ramsey, a clear savings jar is more effective. Whenever the child wants to buy a toy or something that they would like, you have them take it out of their clear jar so they can see it being physically removed from the jar. With your older kids, you need to teach them about opportunity cost. If they buy this now, then they won't have the money to buy this whatever they want later. For all children, you can always give them paid chores. I would call this compensation for the work they have put in and not allowances. Allowances to me are money that the child gets weekly for doing nothing. Now they have to earn the money. If they do not complete the list of chores or duties that you have left for them to do, then they do not receive the money. Some parents might even have daily chores that their children have to do, and then extra chores to earn money on top of that. Bank accounts are another critical thing in teaching your children about financial education. Some children start their child's bank account at a young age to start building some money for them as they grow older because interest. Either way, your child needs to know how a bank account works and when they start working or becoming a young adult. You should teach them about how interest builds in a savings and basically gives you free money over time for having money in that account. My father always told me that you should take your paycheck and split it into 3. 1/3 of it goes into savings, 1/3 of it pays your bills, and 1/3 of it is for you to have to spend however you want. Either way, you should have some kind of system for your child to look back at to learn how to use their money. According to USA Today, you should have a savings account as a young adult with rent and living expenses for a minimum of 6 months, but preferably 2 years. Lastly, I'm going to talk about credit cards and debt. When I was younger, I thought a credit card was free money, and you need to explain that to children because the moment they turn 18, credit card companies will flood their mailbox trying to get them to sign up for one. According to U.S. News, 20% of college seniors carry a credit card balance of $7,000 or more. Children need to understand that bills and credit card and debt all have consequences when they are not paid in a timely manner. You can relate it to them by talking about your credit score. Our credit score are like our report cards. Every place we borrow money from turns it in and explains how well we paid them and how long it took us to pay them back. You can also explain to your older children about how credit score can hurt or help you in the future when you are looking to buy things such as a house. Some ways to teach debt or interest to children would be to loan them some extra money to buy something they need or want. But by doing this, they have to pay you $1 a week plus 50 cents for interest or something to that effect. When I was about 20 years old, I made the mistake of getting suckered into signing up for a credit card with a limit of $15,000. At that time, I was only going to use it for gas and pay it off each month for the first year, while it was interest-free. That only lasted for the first month because as things got tighter and I started wanting things I didn't need, I would just say, oh, I can buy this, it's only $20. And that $20 turned into $1,500 real quick. I would pay a little on my card each month, but not enough to pay it off, and then I would use it again, maxing it out. Long story short, I was out of work for a couple months due to a knee surgery and really couldn't pay my bills then. Luckily, I started working again and I paid it off pretty quickly, but it was still a struggle during the months that I couldn't pay it. I had a decent credit score before that credit card, and now it's not so good. I do not own a credit card and do not plan on getting one anytime soon. In closing, I hope you have a better understanding of why it is important to teach our children financial education. Parents or teachers should be explaining the difference between wants and needs, how to budget, and the dangers of credit cards and how debt works. All of your decisions your children make will make your money really affects the way that your money's going to be for the rest of your life. So this is why I think it is important to start teaching young children, because it is never too early to learn about how to use your money. Thanks.